and then fled to the bathroom and threw up in the hallway at his parents' house. Today I'm talking about my online dating match nightmare, dating single over 50. I got divorced at 57, and this was like a year and a half later. I was on probably my third match date, and I dressed up in the outfit I found got the most positive reaction. I let my date know that I'd be wearing a rose-colored long-sleeve blouse and a black pencil skirt and high heels. Got out of my car and I walked up to the restaurant through the double doors, and the light was streaming into the restaurant. So as I walked into the bar, it was really hard to see where my date was. He had described himself to me and suddenly saw a man wave at me, and I was kind of surprised by his appearance. He had described himself as an IT manager. We'd had a brief conversation over the phone. I always like to do that to make sure that they have a good command of the English language and know how to hold a conversation, which a lot of guys actually failed. I'm sure women, it happens also. I walked in over to him and took a seat. He looked totally different than what I was expecting. He had thick, dark hair, but it was loaded with pomade and kind of sticking up from his head, and a shiny red shirt. I guess he decided that we'd kind of be like twins, both with red tops on. So he had dark gray pants, and he immediately ordered us both wine without asking what I wanted. Has that happened to you? I found that so surprising when men don't ask if you want a drink, not have a drink, or what you like to drink. Fortunately, I do like red wine. So he ordered us each a glass of red wine and began telling me all about his dating history. And then I started feeling an uneasiness in the pit of my stomach. I definitely have a sixth sense like many of us women do. And he started rattling off all about the dates he'd had, how some of the women were 10 years older than their pictures, how another woman was 30 pounds heavier than her picture, on and on. And 10 minutes into it, he ordered a second glass of wine, and then started telling me about his former girlfriend. And he went on describing her. She sounded very pretty and quite a bit younger. She was a blonde, and it sounded like she was cute. And he obviously had a lot of fun with her, but he described her as an alcoholic. He said she was really an out-of-control alcoholic. And right then, his third glass of wine turned up. I didn't even see him order it. Maybe he told the bartender to just bring him a new glass of wine every few minutes. Anyway, so he continues to down the wine, describing his date with her. They had a date with his parents. He wanted to introduce her. His parents weren't particularly fond of the girl, but he wanted to broach the topic that they were now engaged. And when they got there, the girl, I guess, was dressed in a pretty yellow dress, he said, with red flowers. She looked so nice. He said she really was a beautiful girl, and she could be very, very fun and a great conversationalist. And she'd brought a couple bottles of wine and then began partaking, and very soon was quite tipsy. I'm assuming she was uncomfortable in the situation with his parents, but he announced their engagement, and his parents had very long faces, he mentioned. Then my date's fifth glass of wine appeared, and he talked about how the girl became falling down drunk in front of his parents, how embarrassed he was. By then, I'm feeling totally queasy. The guy's had his fifth glass of wine, and I then noticed the waiter bringing another glass of wine in his direction. I'm like, 6 glasses of wine? Who does that? I was feeling really uncomfortable. We've all had instances where we drank too much, but driving, I really try to keep it to 1, 2 at the absolute outside. So I began talking about this girl and how she was falling down drunk, and then started tossing down some more wine, and then fled to the bathroom and threw up in the hallway at his parents' house on their brand new tile floor. He was totally aghast, and of course his parents were beyond shocked. I just cannot imagine it. And just then, guess what? The waiter appeared bringing my date his 7th glass of wine. I just couldn't believe it. Within an hour and a half, this guy had downed 7 glasses of wine. I'd stay there just because I was sort of paralyzed, sort of felt like I was with the snake charmer with this story, this intense story about his past girlfriend and her alcoholism. I'm thinking, what does he think he is? Obviously, I am not his type because I'm not the big party girl. And I don't like being drunk. I don't like the hangovers. Like most people, I do enjoy a glass of wine here and there, but getting drunk, no thanks. That was from a long area ago in my 20s and early 30s. So then I started really feeling uncomfortable. I'm thinking, should I call the guy a cab? Should I flag down a waiter? Should I corner him about this? Oddly enough, he didn't seem drunk. So he must have some kind of capacity that I couldn't realize. He didn't seem drunk at all. It was very strange. And then I thought, well, I was still a little timid, a little scared early on in the dating process, and I was thinking, well, what if he walks me out to my car and he's smashed? Obviously, he has to be smashed. What could happen then? And I started feeling really scared. Has this happened to you? I started feeling very, very nervous about the situation. So when the bill came and he was out writing the check, I told him, I just realized I was going to be late for a meeting with my daughter. I felt bad for the little white lie, and rushed back out to my car. So that was the first of many online dating nightmares. And I'd love it if you'd share your online dating nightmares. So now I look forward to seeing you in this next video.